This is Australian billionaire Mike Cannon-Brookes. He's the CEO and co-founder of Atlassian, a software company that essentially makes collaboration and productivity tools that you've probably never heard of, unless you work in the industry. Naturally, as a billionaire, he likes the high life. For example, he likes buying houses. In 2018, Domain noted, Mike Cannon-Brookes paid $17 million for Double Bay House day after he bought $100 million Fairwater estate. In 2024, the headlines read, Billionaire Mike Cannon-Brookes buys 3 houses next door for $12.25 million. And last year, realestate.com.au trumpeted, Tech guru Mike Cannon-Brookes buys $15.2 million bachelor pad. Cost of living crisis? Pfft. He likes buying sports teams too. In 2020, the AFR confirmed Mike Cannon-Brookes becomes first Aussie to own an NBA team, having bought a minority stake in the Utah Jazz. Rugby league was next. In 2021, the ABC proclaimed tech billionaire Mike Cannon-Brookes buys stake in Rabbitohs. Car racing sponsorship? Of course. Last year, the Ministry of Sport let the cat out of the bag. Atlassian becomes title sponsor of Williams Racing. The team is now branded as the Atlassian Williams F1 team, because nothing says carbon neutral like having your logo plastered on a 1,000 horsepower internal combustion engine. Predictably, as a woke billionaire, he supports the climate. For example, in 2021, the AFR highlighted, Mike and Annie Cannon-Brookes pledge $1.5 billion to limit global warming. On a more personal note, in 2023, 9 News followed up on reports Atlassian founder Mike Cannon-Brookes to split from wife. They have 4 children together. But never fear, there's nothing a fuel-guzzling private jet can't fix. Last year, Real Estate again detailed, inside Australian billionaire Mike Cannon-Brookes' new house-like $120 million private jet. While later in the year, the AFR revealed Atlassian pays Mike Cannon-Brookes $5.7 million for use of his private jet. One might wonder why a climate-fighting billionaire is sponsoring Formula One teams and buying overpriced, carbon-belching private jets. Well, The Guardian wondered the very same thing. Billionaire climate campaigner Mike Cannon-Brookes defends buying private jet and sponsoring F1 team. But don't worry, he's got deep internal conflict about it, and notes that he's using technology to capture CO2 and uses sustainable jet fuel, which would cancel emissions from his flights. He said, these options aren't practical for commercial flights, but are viable privately. This means my flights actually have a net negative carbon footprint. So essentially, his Bombardier jet is vacuuming up pollution as it screams across the skies. It turns out he's done the world a favour by buying a private jet. It's odd that he has deep internal conflict about it if he's actually the atmosphere's leading air purifier. But despite massive success selling glorified digital to-do lists, things aren't going so well for his company. If we look at the recent Atlassian share price, it's been on a brutal slide, plummeting by more than 60% over the last year. But why? What's going wrong? I think you can guess. AI. The ABC reported, Atlassian cuts 1,600 jobs from global workforce as AI slashes labour needs, with their Australian workforce accounting for 30% of that. Yes, it turns out when you design and sell tools that automate people's work, you ultimately automate your own employees out of a paycheck. It's the classic tech billionaire irony. Mr. Cannon-Brookes announced details of the cuts in a video message. He said, I don't make decisions like this lightly. I'm deeply sorry for the disruption this creates in your life. Your impact and contributions here matter massively. I made this call because I believe this is the right decision for Atlassian's long-term health. In an accompanying post, he wrote, we fundamentally believe people and AI create the best outcomes, but it would be disingenuous to pretend AI doesn't change the mix of skills we need or the number of roles required in certain areas. So the Atlassian future is here. high-flying jets and sports teams for the founder, and 1,600 families left to navigate a cost-of-living crisis alone. But don't worry, at least he feels deeply conflicted about it. It's hard work being this virtuous, isn't it?